welcome to Crochet, a Canadian crochet podcast. I am your hostess, Claudia. This is your first time. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like what you have to see today, why don't you give this a like and a subscribe and share this with other people you think might like this. So today is episode 6, and I'm going to get into some stuff about what I have been working on, what I have finished, yay, and a little bit about what's going on around here. So let's get at it. All right, I have accomplished 3 things this week, which I'm very happy for. So the first thing is this sweet little pom-pom toque. I made this for my daughter. I used this making half double crochet. So you can see it has a little bit of texture in it, and it has pom-poms. I'm not personally a pom-pom person myself, but my daughter is, and she really likes these. So I made these, actually I made these with a spatula, because I don't have a pom-pom maker that is that size. This is it's either a brunette pop cake or a Karen cake. They were super cheap at Walmart, and my daughter liked them. So she doesn't knit or crochet or anything, but she just likes to play with yarn. So she played with one and let me use the other one. This one, you may recognize this color at the top here. This is the same as the yarn that we used to make the snowflake applique for her pink sweater, which she's wearing now. She loves it. She really does. So what I did with the pom-poms is I made them. This one actually needs to be tightened up a little bit, but I didn't know when I was making it, because she was at school when I finished it up, if she would want it or not. And so I just put really long strings on there, and then I put I put them through. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. Can't talk any day, let's be honest. Anyway, so I tied it in a bow, so if she doesn't want them, she can just pull the bow and take the pom-poms off. Which also I thought would be a good thing, because when I have to wash this, which I invariably do, I could take the pom-poms off and they won't get wrecked. So that's a good thing, because our washing machine would be full of pom-pom bits. When I was making this, it totally made me think, when I was a kid and I had pom-poms like this, I would pick all the individual pieces of yarn out. It must have driven my mother crazy. I can't remember, but I very distinctly remember being like, and pulling them out. Did you ever do that when you were a kid? Did you ever pick at your handmade things? I know I'm not the only one who did that. So this is project number 1. Project number 2, another toque. This one was for me. So I made this one out of this yarn here. I'll show you the label. It's called Baby Camel. It's from Italy. I'm going to say this wrong, because other than a Western Canadian English accent, the only other accent that I have is French. So I'm going to try to say this with no accent at all, which heaven help us. I think it's Borgo de Pazzi. With French accent, I would say Borgo de Pazzi, but I don't think that's right. But so this is their logo on the label. No, I won't focus. So this yarn is 50% wool, 38% bamboo, and 12% baby camel, hence the name. I hope it was procured nicely from the baby camels. And these are 50 gram. Yes, 50 gram balls. So they are not really, really big. The yarn is what size? It doesn't say what size it is on here. It's like this big. I'd say it's like a 2. Like a number 2 if you're into that. I don't know what the knitting equivalent is of that though. Yeah, I really like it. So the funny thing about this is that these labels don't have color names, they have color numbers. So, and bear with me, one is 24 and one is 22, but I don't remember which is which. So yay me. Anyhow, onto the toque itself. I really enjoyed making this toque. It makes me kind of laugh when I put it on, because it kind of looks like a helmet, but I like this style that has the ear flaps. I have sensitivity to the wind, so it really, really bothers me, and I've had many a hike ruined because my ears hurt in the wind. I wouldn't wear this one hiking, because this is definitely a winter-only toque. And I don't do a lot of winter hiking, so, but that's that. I do snowshoe periodically, so there's that. I can wear it for snowshoeing. What I did with this one to create this texture, get up close, is I did front post, double crochet in a series to create this. And if you would like more explanation about how I did this, I can write that up for you, because it's not hard. It is something that you have to count and just be cognizant of how your stitches are to figure this out. But this whole toque essentially is a base of double crochet. So if you know how to double crochet, we will be able to figure out how to make this. So it's just math. So I would add the stitches in, so you can see here it doesn't rib immediately. I set ribbing here, and then for the third set, where is it? Right here. So it's a series of regular double crochet, front post double crochet repeated around to create this ribbed appearance. And then I switched it to a waffle stitch in the gray beige. It's a beigey gray color. It's really pretty. I quite like it. And that's the same thing, double crochet. You just do it in a different pattern to make it not look like that and look like this. But it's essentially, fundamentally, the same thing. This will be a hand wash and lay flat to dry, I believe. I might try it in a cold wash in the washing machine, but I'm kind of afraid because I don't want it to shrink. Like, I really don't want it to, because I feel like with the density of this wool that if it shrunk, I wouldn't be able to like kind of like pry it apart back into its usual shape. So we'll see. I'm also going to give this the conditioner treatment. It's not too scratchy, but I think if I get sweaty, it will be scratchy. I wanted this too because I'm going to start running again, and yes, it's winter time, and this is always when I choose to start running again. But I wanted something that will cover my ears, and also I will make myself a buff, probably in something acrylic, because I'll be like breathing heavily into it, to wear while I'm out while it's really cold. That will come up here, so then it will cover my ears as well, because I don't want cold ears, and I don't want. And I have like those two, like the actual Buff brand buffs, and I find that they really restrict my breathing when I am breathing through my mouth, because it's kind of like if you took a t-shirt and put it over your mouth, and then if it's touching your mouth, which it oftentimes does when I'm out running, it just like the breath feels restricted. So I'm making something crochet that will have the minuscule holes in it, as crochet does, to allow the wind through and allow me to exhale effectively, but also just to keep like that barrier so that I don't get the frozen face, because I don't like that at all. All right, number 3, the third thing, the final thing for today that I finished is my shirt. I finished it. So when I last showed it to you, I was working on this with a 5.5 millimeter hook. I ended up changing that. I pulled the whole thing out, and then I made it with a 4 millimeter hook, so it is quite dense, which I like that because it feels more springy. And it's supposed to be form-fitting, which it is. So that ended up working. Oh, sorry, I have dog hair with this. And as you can see, it's just granny stitch. It's not fancy, but I think it's really cute. This is the back. Oh no, this is the front. Sorry, this is the back. You can see the seam down the back. Again, was able to get my seam nice and straight, which I love. And then for the cuffs and the ribbing at the bottom, I returned to my old favorite. Front post double crochet, back post double crochet alternate. So, sorry, the dog is shedding like crazy right now, and there's hair everywhere. Anyhow, so you can see this is the current outside, and this is the inside. So there's not really a correct side, because that looks like that and the inside looks like this. So if it gets flipped inside out and I put it on, it is not obvious at all that has happened. Around the neck, I did half double crochet. I didn't want ribbing around the neck, because this is, like, as I said, like, it's quite dense, and I don't like to struggle to put stuff over my head because of my eyebrow ring. It's a thing that I have now become accustomed to, is that I kind of get dressed funny, so I always turn my head to the front, especially in a V-neck shirt like this, so that it will go over smoothly. I've had enough cases of my eyebrow ring getting stuck in fabric, or when I'm getting my hair cut, they comb it, and so I'm always like, ooh. It's just a little stud, but still, I don't want it snagged. I don't want it to rip out. I've had it since I've been 17, so I've had it for 20 years now. 20 years I've had my eyebrow ring. So I like it. I don't want it to get hurt. That's all. So need some tea. I love this cup. So we'll just have like a little digression into this cup. I believe this cup's from Portland. Don't hold me to that. But my sister-in-law found a potter in the States that makes these, like, she has a special name and I forget, but we call them like the cozy or like the cuddle up mug. that has the hand holding like this, which I really like this style. I prefer actually cups that don't have handles, because I don't ever put my hand through the handle, and I don't hold the handle like you would like this. Or if I do, it's like for like 2 seconds. But I prefer to hold the whole cup in like this fashion. So I really like this, and it's this really beautiful turquoise. It's hand thrown. I really love the glaze on it. What's the bottom? It says, and I believe NEBER, and then 2018, which is when it was made. So if I can find any information about this cup, or if this lady's like on Instagram or anything like that, maybe it's not a lady, this person, I apologize, sorry, that was presumptive of me. I will link any information I can find, because they're really, really nice. And you can get them for right hand, and I do believe that they had some for left hand. But don't hold me to that. Hopefully they're still around, because like I said, I love this mug, and it holds the heat decently well, even though it's like a hand thrown thing. Because I find like hand ceramic, like it really like radiates the heat off quickly and cools the drink down too fast. But this one is not too bad, because I like to drink a hot drink. Today I am drinking the Tazo chai tea condensed. That's not what I meant. Concentrated mix from a box, because it's cheaper than going to Starbucks. Tastes the same. Okay. Now, my work in progress. I only have one this week, and I am dedicated to getting it finished, because I am so close now. So, do you remember a while ago I showed you this blanket? I think I showed it to you through my Hall of Shame, and then there was another time that I showed it to you. It is the Daisy Farm Press herringbone half double crochet stitch blanket. There, got it. I'm editing this, so just know that took a few times to get it out properly. Okay, so I have started a new row of blue right here. And the last time you saw me, I was smart. I put a stitch marker in after we talked. And this was the place that I had left before, was this. So I have finished this much in 2 days. This section I was able to finish while I was watching this incredible film called 14 Peaks, I believe. It's on Netflix. It's about this Nepalese mountain climber named Nins Dai. That's how he goes on Instagram. And he summited, absolutely incredible, summited the 14 highest peaks on Earth in 7 months. So for reference, they explain this at the end of the film as well. The previous record for summiting these 14 peaks was 8 years. 8 years to 7 months. Like, insane. It is incredible. Even if you don't really know anything about mountain climbing or anything like that, the cinematography is beautiful. The story is nice. It's not action-packed or anything like that. There are some sad moments, I will warn you. But it's just this man's like dedication to the possibility of the human body. And this is something that I really value that he espouses as well, is that he doesn't leave people behind. And like, to me, having a sense of community that is that strong, even toward a stranger, is really important. And it's so beautiful. And like, he would help people like out of the goodness of his heart, even though he had deadlines to adhere to. It's incredible. Like, all of it, I love it. So I was particularly drawn to this movie because I used to rock climb when I was a kid, and when I was a kid, back in the day when I was 13, that's when I started. I wanted to be a mountain climber, but there weren't lady mountain climbers, and I don't think I'm not skilled or strong enough to actually do it. Like, if we're being totally honest, I'm happy to be an indoor rock climber, but yeah, back then I wanted to be an adventure girl. So as we know, that didn't happen. I did a very distinct 180, and I'm a nerd now. So I was always a nerd, let's be honest. Anyway, that was a strong deviation from what I was trying to talk about. I apologize. So yes, so I got this part done during 14 Peaks. And then what did we watch last night? Oh, we started watching this other show about like weird unknown sports. So we just watched this Florentine, like basically bare knuckled boxing / rugby game that they play. And you have to be born in Italy to be eligible to be on the team, all this stuff. Oh my goodness. But I finished this. So I know this doesn't look like very much. The show was 40 something minutes long, I believe. but each one of these rows, because it's so long, takes about between 17 and 22 minutes to do. So it takes a while. Yeah, so I'm almost done this row of blue across, and then I have 10 rows of blue, 2 of white, and then 20 of orange. So, and then that's the end of it. All that being said is that when this is finished, I need to really, I'm gonna have to move all the furniture in our living room, like, let's be honest, and put it on the floor and see the size of it, because I want to see what it looks like, because it feels very square right now. And that's not the fault of the pattern or anything. It's because I've made it quite wide. So of course it's going to feel square if it's like that. But if it is too square for my liking, or if I do feel like just having it a bit longer, luckily the way that this pattern is written is that it's very, very easy to just start the pattern over again. Like, you don't have to count or add or do anything. I would literally just repeat from row 1 up to the point that I'm satisfied with it. So I really like that. And that's because, oh, I just heard a weird noise, sorry. That's because it's written in this, like you can see. So if every row is like, what did it start out? Yeah, it starts white, and then it goes orange, white, blue, white, orange. So like it constantly, like, this is on repeat, this here. Not in this shape, but this color schematic, it's like this. So when I'm finished, the last row of this will be orange. Our last rows will be this orangey color here. And then it'll start over like this, if I wanted to, which I might. I don't know, we'll see. Man, on camera this looks stunning. In real life, I'm like, like, I like it. Don't get me wrong, I really, really like it. And the colors are so perfect, and it's working up so nicely. But I don't know, I just see it. Oh my goodness, maybe my eyes are that bad. I do need glasses again. That's part of life update. So there's that. And a little hack, I guess. This isn't even a hack. It's just what I do. It's not a hack. Let's be serious. So you have seen my notebook before. This is the notebook that I use to take care of my crocheting things. So I put my ideas that I have in here, and I sketch things. I would prefer, actually, once this notebook is finished, which will be in quite a while because I just got it not that long ago. Once this book is finished, I think I'm going to get a dot matrix style one instead to do to do like designing and things like that, and to keep track. I think it would be easier, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see how this goes. So yeah, so I, like, here is, I never made this, but this is a carpet that I wanted to make. So as you can see, like, I don't put shapes and sizes and things like that. I just sort of go like that. And then when I started this one, I really just went by shape and what it looked like. But then we didn't end up needing it. So I took it all apart and made some other stuff with this carpet stuff. Things about, I kind of write everything down in here. So for this particular project, they gave you the schematic, so I just wrote down the number of rows and then the color. So I did that all the way to the bottom. So you can see here I'm on blue, and I did 1 row, and I do like 4 or 5 stitches, and I say I'm on the first row. That's how I keep track of this, and then I just tally it up till this number matches this number. And that is what I would recommend for a blanket if you're following something like this. Is, like, don't worry about fancy stitch counters. Don't get upset that you, like, can't figure out how to count, because there's been many times, and that's why I have come to this method, is that I wouldn't count the number of stitches or rows that I'm doing, and then I forget, and then it might be a stitch that's a little bit hard to count, and, like, to see the individual rows, which some are for me. Like a Suzette stitch, for example, is very difficult for me to tell how many rows I have. So I just have started tallying, and that is now what I do. So get yourself a notebook. This one was from Costco, came in a 3-pack. I really like it. I like the size of this one, and I like that even in the middle, the pages still lay quite flat. Like, that's what I like. I don't like to have to, like, put stuff on my book to keep it flat. Like the spine, maybe I just broke the spine a bit. I don't know, but I like that it does this. This is great. So, although soft cover, I'm partial to soft cover books. I love notebooks. Like, don't get me wrong, I love them. So that is what I am working on this week, and I have said to myself, and I'm in a really, like, happy place finishing this, so I don't think it's going to be a problem, that this will be the thing that I finish before I start anything else, which is totally fine. I'm super glad to have that. I did not get to, what did I have in my Ravelry queue? Oh yeah, I didn't get to the Call the Midwife blanket. I didn't even start it. I have the yarn, it's up here, but I have to pull it out of something else to make it into the blanket, but I haven't done that yet. And there's socks. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have had the same socks for, gosh, probably 8 years now, if I had to think. Socks are not something I go through all that often. And they're just like the bag of Hanes socks, and you know, over like they're not meant to last a lifetime. Like they're just not. So they don't. And now they're at the point, because I wear them all, that the elastic is starting to go in the legs. So I get the worst thing that a Canadian can get is when your sock slides off in your boot. People from Michigan, I feel like you would totally get this as well. When you're walking and your sock just sort of like inches its way down your leg as you're walking, and then it gets in there. Oh, I can't stand that feeling. It's so annoying. Also, first world problem. I get it. But it's annoying and I don't like it. Anyway, so these socks, the elastic is all starting to go into the ankle and the tube part of the sock. So they have been made into rags and things like that. And then, I don't know how I got this in my head when I was getting rid of these socks. Is that I'm like, oh, I don't have any socks, which is ludicrous because I have tons of socks. People buy me, like these ones that I'm wearing right now. These are like just individual. These are cute. Like these are very fluffy socks inside. They were aloe infused, but I've had them for 3 or 4 years now. So obviously there's nothing like that left. And like I have lots of those. I have a few merino pairs of smart wool socks. I have these really awesome ones from Denmark that I love. They're bright red. Those ones I use exclusively for hiking and snowshoeing. And then I have my sports socks that go all the way to my knee. But other than that, like I have other colored socks that I wear. So I don't know how I got it in my head that I don't have any socks. But that being said, I have spent countless hours researching sock patterns, and I was really disappointed because I found one and it was on Pinterest on my phone, so it's just a little picture. And I was like, sweet, this will be perfect. They're really cute. They have these trees on the ankle and the leg, and the ribbing is not like crazy, but it looks like it would stay up. And then I was like, that's knitting. So I was really disappointed that it was knitting. I need crochet. I have a knitting machine. Machine is not the right word. I have like a knitting loom. I have a lot. You used to see them in my old videos. They were on the wall. But I have a sock loom, and I tried it once. Oh my gosh, it was so slow. I'm really impatient, I think, and that's why I like crocheting, is because it goes so much faster. All that being said, I am looking for a sock pattern. If you know of something out there that has, or that you have used before that you like, I am glad to hear it. Link it in the comments below. I would be super glad to go take a look at your sock patterns. I am personally not fussy on the shape of it. Outside of, so this is where my toes are, is right here. Like, just bear with me. I don't like when the seam is at the very front. So like this sock here, the seam is on top of the toes. That would be fine. I don't want it across the fronts of my toes, because I don't like when stuff gets under my toenails, because it makes it feel like they're ripping off, and I don't like that. I think that sounds awful, and it's not a nice feeling. I'm not worried about the tube height, because I know like that's a variable thing, and as long as I keep track of how many rows I did, then I can just like produce it in the second one. So yes, that is next on my list is socks, because even though I don't not have socks, I still want to make a pair of socks, at least one, just to see if I can. And then what else is coming up? That's it. Okay, so on to life things, I guess. I tried to record this yesterday and it was going really, really well, and it was going to be a longer than usual podcast, but that's okay. But then my phone, for some reason, so I record all of this on my phone. So when I hit about 25 minutes, the phone shuts off and it stops recording, and it doesn't save the recorded thing that you had. So I didn't realize this until I took the files off of my phone yesterday and we're going to edit it and put it together and everything. And I was like, this one seems really short. And then I looked at it and I was like, shoot, like this is the second half of the episode. I didn't have the first part, so that made me sad. What a bummer. Anyway, so I'm trying now to do this, like I can see the time on the phone. So I am trying to do this in batches to prevent this from happening, because I feel really sad because I put all that work and effort into it and it just doesn't work. Technology, I tell you. I could probably just get myself a proper camera, but I mean, for right now, this is working for me. So I try to make do with what I have, like, a lot. Like, that's definitely something as I've gotten older, I've really tried to espouse that as a value, is that it's really important to me to not just buy a bunch of things. Like, I feel like I'm a minimalist at heart, but if you were to come in our house, like, we do not have a minimalist house whatsoever. Like, all of us have collections of something. Some of the stuff we have, yes, it's like not particularly useful, but I live with somebody who is not, he's not a hoarder, but he loves keeping things. Like, he's really always very concerned, like, oh, what if I need this? And I'm like, well, buy it again if it's that big of a deal, or borrow it from somebody. So trying to like fit somebody who is like borderline minimalist and someone who's like borderline hoarder it can be a challenge, but I think we make it work. Yeah, like I said, it's not like we have no stuff, because I mean, like, I collect, okay, so I collect these little, this one is like a special one that's like not exactly parts. So this is an M2 series and I collect Hot Wheels. We all collect Hot Wheels in this house. It's ridiculous. So this is a little combi from Volkswagen, and it's the Christmas Coke one. It's super cute. I love it. But I have a whole bunch of them. I will show you my collection one day. I will. But I have a whole bunch of these cool combis from Hot Wheels. So my husband, when he sees cool ones, he'll get me, or ones that I don't have, he'll get them for me. And I really like that. I have, I think, 23 right now. 24 with this one. Yeah, that's kind of ironic. It's Christmas now, 24. Anyway, so I have those. My husband has Hot Wheels. We just have, yeah, we have plants. I collect antique books. We just have stuff. So our house, people say it's lived in, which I don't know if I really like that term, but I understand why they would say that. All that being said is that even though I have these things, if someone was to take them away, I would probably be disappointed, but it wouldn't ruin my life. Like, I don't lose sleep at night ever worrying that something's going to happen to it. On the contrary, I do have an issue with, this is going to get to be like a really weird part. I apologize. You can skip to the end if you would like. So I have high functioning anxiety, and one of the things that triggers my anxiety is clutter. So I know you'll be thinking, like, well, how could you live with like these things here? In my mind, like, this is not clutter, because this is, oh, there's a toothpick. Our dog had this last night and had to take it away from him. So this to me is not clutter, because it is, my daughter actually set it up, and I feel like she did such a good job. So she set it up really nicely. Is it the way that I would do it? No, but that's not the point. But she set all this up so it looks like a tiny little village. She had some Lego people down here for a while, which that was fun. But she set it up, and I know that this is not permanent, that I'm not going to get blind to this kind of thing. That's the thing, is that you will get blind to certain things in your house, or you can, and you don't really see that it's like a problem anymore. I am already blind to my plant stand, which I've recorded in front of a few times, but I like the plants. The plants are all healthy. They're all doing well. So that blindness in that regard is fine. Like, they're being looked after and they're kept up. So that's good. And they get moved around every year, like periodically. So again, it's stationary clutter that is upsetting to me. So if I watch a show like Hoarders, for example, it's very triggering to my anxiety, because I'm like, if I'm not looking right at the thing at the time, I think that somehow in like the 20 minutes that I haven't been upstairs, that our room is a disaster. Because I don't trust that it is looked after and that it's going to stay tidy when I tidy something, which it doesn't. I live in a house with 3 other people and a dog and a cat, so of course it's not going to stay tidy. But I hope you understand what I mean. It's like, it's not even that I'm like, oh, there's a sock on the floor. It's not that. It's that I think I will have like made our bed, vacuumed, put our nightstands back in order, dusted all of that stuff, come downstairs, get a cup of tea in it. My worry is that I'll go upstairs and somehow it'll be stacked to the ceiling with stuff, like, which that is the irrational part. So having high functioning anxiety means that it doesn't really prevent me from doing things. It like kind of puts me into overdrive, and I like really have to do things. So I don't watch Hoarders because it is triggering, and it will make me get into these like cleaning sprees where I'm like, I will, oh my goodness, I throw away a lot of things, even things that we may have used. I'm like, we have 2 spatulas, I'm going to get rid of one, even though we use both regularly. So yeah, I'm not that kind of minimalist. I would say I'm a medialist. I have what I need, and because I know the nature of my family, that I'm not going to wash the spatula every single time I use it, that is probably going to have to wait a day or go through the dishwasher, or that we are just dishwasher people, that we should probably have 2 because it does get used. The stuff we have in our house now, aside from a very few things, everything has a purpose and a use. So that to me is important. So, okay. I know y'all didn't want to know anything about that, but y'all, that's something that's creeped into my vernacular lately, and I'm not sure where that's come from. It's kind of odd because I live nowhere near Texas or the States, really. Well, hang on, let me think. I think I live 3 hours from the border. The closest I've got, oh no, that's not true. I have been like right on the Canada-US border. So I've never been to the States. I don't have a passport. Yeah, I'm one of those people. So last summer, my friend and her son and I, we hiked from Waterton Park in Alberta, and we hiked to the United States border, which that was a trip. Like, let me tell you, like it, oh my gosh. So it was hot and humid. So I don't like humidity at all. But I mean, Waterton is a giant lake, so of course it's gonna be like that. So we hiked down. It was really uneventful. We tested out a bear banger because we hadn't before, and I didn't want the first time us using a bear banger to be when there was a bear and not know how to use it. So I wanted to, we tested that out at the lake, and that was loud, let me tell you, loud. And then yeah, like it was a really uneventful trip. So there's a campground called Basin Bay, I think, in Waterton that you can hike in. It's, I'm trying to think how long it is. I think it's 3.5K. But, oh, Boundary Bay, that's what it's called. And that, it's like, it's just inside the Canada border. So I could go there. Anyway, so you get to the border, and then there's these posts, these stone posts. One side says Canada, one side says USA. And someone has like clear cut the trees where the border is. It's the wildest thing. Like, it was so crazy. So at the time that we went, the United States was completely closed to all visitors, like at all. So we thought someone like park official or otherwise may have been posted at the border there, but nobody was there. But on the United States side, I don't know why I find this so funny, but I do. They had a rope across, and it said like no entrance, and that it was punishable by law for Corona. I forget exactly what it said, but I don't know why, but it totally made me laugh. Like, just this rope. But people were abiding by it, so it 100% worked. It's not there anymore. And yeah, like, so on the Canada side, everything we have in Canada, particularly in national parks, which Waterton is, has French and English on it, because that's the law. Because we have to have French and English on everything. So it was really weird to read a sign that was only in English. So, and the font was different too, which I thought that was interesting, because the signs that I've seen in the States look like the road signs that say, like, you know, Montana 10K. I guess it wouldn't be 10K, 10 miles. That font is the same. So it was funny that that sign was different. It's not like it was a handwritten sign. Like, it was clearly like an official government document from the United States government, but it was just funny. Like, not funny, haha, funny, strange. Anyway, that's the story of me being, like, I towed the line of being in the United States. So that was fun. That was a good day. I like hiking, in case that wasn't evident. All right, I'm going to wrap this up for you today, because this has become quite an extended episode. I tied Vlogmas into this, so yeah, that's that. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you guys have a really great day whenever you're watching this. Oh, it's some big news, and I completely forgot. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Over the weekend, I reached over 100 subscribers. So I want to say welcome to all my new subscribers, and thank you so much for subscribing and joining me. This is so awesome. Like, I'm so excited. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. That's my excitement. That's like the, wow, that was odd. Sorry. It was like boring then pew in terms of like the story arc. My bad. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you had a great episode. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe, stay warm. I appreciate you so much. Bye.